I like to get my weather news from that weird hillbilly who's all covered in dog hair all the time. Caribou! Weather Dude YouTube channel.
There it is. This is bad news.
My God.
Anything could happen.
Get off!
I'll watch the video later. They dry mopping this.
Good Tuesday morning. Joey Older here up in my chair of infinite wilderness wisdom here in Wells, British Columbia, 3,953 feet above sea level. It's probably going to be the nicest day you have for a little while. Maybe Wednesday won't be too bad, I guess. I don't know. A little bit of an uptick today, and then back down. It's not going to last very long. In fact, we got fantastic Omega block pattern to talk about. First topic today is the Omega block there happening in the continental United States. Meteorologist Chris Calais there is, of course, part of our team on the Meteorological Report, and he had some very interesting analysis on this phenomenon here. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, as you can see, it's the booby block there. Yes, two upper level lows persistently, and then you have high pressure on either side here, blocking it, and it gives you these pair of googly eyeballs, and it's like we got a weird nose there. Like Mexico is like the Yucatan's like a weird nose or something, It's totally messed up looking. So what is that doing? That's what you probably want to know. Well, it's bringing cooler air down, both of them. So it's keeping things a little cooler down there in America. Not so much lately for the prairies here. We'll get to all that. Don't get ahead of myself, Joey. They're having a nice looking forecast all in all. They're a few degrees above average over the next little while. Look at that nice ridging for them. Ooh, yeah. Well, BC here. Look at we're kind of on the wrong side of that. Look at that. We're kind of blocked off there, and how warm weather's kind of trapped down there. It's like it's not looking like we have a lot of heat. Per se, like we had, say, Friday, or even today will be pretty nice. I suspect we'll see into the 20s today, like for Williams Lake and places in BC. Going to see some change that way, but no, this sort of gross pattern out in the North Pacific there is going to keep sending kind of periods of down weather at us. That's all I can really call it, is down weather. As you can see, we spend most of this next week up on the wrong side of the jet stream, up on the cool side, up on the north side, because what happens is the air from the north is colder than air from the south. Okay, I think you know that part already. So figure this. The following area set a daily minimum temperature on the 5th of May. Merritt got down to minus 4.1. That's over a degree colder than their original record set in 1978. They've been keeping records in Merritt since 1918. The temperature record reported here has been derived from a selection of historical stations in this geographical area that were active during the period of record. Okay, now you got the point. Okay, other weather news that's not BC related, but still kind of cool. The first tornado of 2025, confirmed by the Northern Tornado Project, occurred near Saint-Zanon on April 29th, approximately 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It was rated EF1 with an estimated wind speed of 165 kilometers an hour. Had a path length of 6.74 kilometers. Very precise. Maximum width of 600 meters. Holy shit. Got pretty big and moved from west to east, which is that they do approximately 270 degrees. Damage included downed trees and structural damage to barns and a house, but no injuries reported. Let's check in with Tomer Berg's product there, Polar WX, and you can see here, getting into the weekend, a little bit of instability. I mean, nothing major slamming into BC. No, just sort of periods of showers, cooler weather, down weather. This is good news for fires. I mean, maybe we're going to see a bit of activity pick up today on Tuesday with the drier conditions and the warmer day. However, it's not going to last all that long. Like how we saw on Friday, fires stood up, looked pretty scary for a day or two, did some crazy things. But then as the temperatures came down, as that humidex value in a lot of at least southeastern BC, eastern BC kicked up, that helped. Cloud cover helped suppress. The sun just making heat. I mean, one of your three things in the fire triangle, heat, oxygen, fuel, right? is heat for a reason, and it's heat for a reason because it initiates ignition, sustaining combustion, facilitates spread. It dries out fuels, preheats surrounding air and fuel, causes rapid ignition of other flammable materials. Heat transfer, particularly through convection and radiation, allows fires to spread rapidly. Yeah, I mean, nothing that exciting I'm seeing in the next little while. Like, there's a few flashes of thunder and lightning maybe possible in the Caribou region on Wednesday, but nothing major. There's some precip that's going to be cold and miserable coming through into Thursday morning that we'll talk about. That's going to be pretty gross, but it's not major. No, it's kind of a holding pattern here of not the greatest forecast, but in some ways it's usable. It's usable. Okay, well, what else we got here? And as I was saying, that's the prairies that are going to see the benefit of a lot of the moisture. So you saw the very first image there showed BC kind of warming up, but watch what happens when we get into this. It really sticks to the east side. It sticks to Alberta. There's Saskatchewan, Manitoba, a little bit of Western Ontario moving up. Then that low drags that warmth through, and seems like everyone but BC has a pretty nice forecast, so maybe not Newfoundland. Okay, theirs is like only so as well. But all in all, we're just getting kind of this upper level, low fed material from the Gulf of Alaska, and until we keep seeing that pattern. So you see that pattern kind of disappear. There's another one there. It's like as soon as one's gone, a new one takes its place, and it just kind of stays there for a while, tries to send some lows out across into the prairie eventually, as it does, but it doesn't have the ability to let the warmth really into us either, right? It's keeping us unstable, unsettled, keeping us cool, keeping us down, keeping the jet stream sort of south of us, which for fire activities somewhat good. I've been saying 2019, 2020 were the 2 years in recent memory where the upper level low really was persistent like that, and those were really down fire years. I'm not saying that we're going to have a really down fire year yet. I keep saying I'm going to make my long range wildfire forecast, and then I kind of keep stumbling because it's like, well, I got conflicting things that something needs to stand up for me to say, okay, it's going this direction. And, but still, we're not getting the huge precip. We're not getting big precip with any of these systems, which would be different than 2019 and 2020, where a lot of precip fell. So I am concerned about that. But, all in all, down conditions persist. Okay, here's Humidex values. And as you can tell, the brown would be dry air. So we have a bit of dry air right now in the province. But look, here we come with a nice little rebound there and through into the weekend where Humidex values are going to be fairly high. It's not going to be very dry in BC. And look at only momentary periods where it's much improved. A lot of this next week, it seems like more humid and cool weather is the trend. This is completely redundant or relevant right now to today's topic, but I just wanted to say, if anybody in BC Wildfire Service is watching today, and often there is, I really appreciate your contractor orientation course they put out this year. And part of me is even thinking about like just going through it with the audience here on this channel and giving you kind of an idea, not just for contractors, but I think even if you're thinking you want to join the ministry someday, you're like 17, you're like, I like to join the ministry. This would be a great kind of, an overview that might be very helpful for you. So what I appreciated about it was that so often contractors are sort of a second thought. It's like no one talks to us or says anything to us or provides us any training. And then bam, it's a call. You get there, and one of the crews doesn't know something or didn't do something. Like, well, everybody knows that. Well, do they? It's like, well, our crew knew that, but they didn't. And then we're laughing at that crew. And it's, you know what? If we have more of we're all in this together, like, okay, yeah, maybe we're not the type 1 assets, but we're still contracted through the ministry, which means we work for the ministry, which means we are with you. We're you. We have the same job, right? Maybe we don't wear a red shirt, but we're part of the ministry team trying to fight fire. And this says that to us. Here's our expectations. You're part of us. Someone put thought into thinking about you. So great. This is great. I'm really in favor of government spending money to have training available for contract crews. And they also have a H2S course and whatnot that they expect people to take now. And I think that's great. It's great. Even if it's redundant for some of us, there's nothing in that course I haven't already done several times, many times. But again, does everybody know that? Everybody knows that. Well, not everybody knows that. 26 degrees expected in Chilliwack today. This is nuts. It's going to be so warm. Don't get too used to it. Could see some fire activity because of it today. Yes, absolutely. Expect that. 20s through the Kootenays, low 20s, just reaching there in the Cranbrook area and up the Columbia Trench there, Rocky Mountain Trench. The cusp, they're saying 19 might hit 20, Farquhar 21, Vernon up to 23, Kamloops 26 today. Very warm in Kamloops, 24 for Lytton, 23 Boston Bar. Really nice. Pemberton in the 20s, a little wet in the 20s. Goldbridge only at 17. Barrie, you're looking at 26 today. Unusually warm for Barrier. I mean, it's still kind of like at the edge of that dry belt, but still 26. 24 in Clearwater, 21 Hunter Mile, 21 Wright, 23 Williams Lake, Hansfield just about hitting the 20s, Horsefly getting to the 20s all the way up. Quesnel, will you hit the 20s? It's possible. Still, let's go another hour and see. Nope. Okay, Prince George 17 and Chile, only 11 in Mackenzie. This is the cool thing, right? You're looking at 4 o'clock today, still a high of 8 in Burns Lake when it's 26 in Kelowna. Expect some wind in this today. Yeah, it might get a little breezy with this kind of imbalance of temperatures. 4 is up there. It's chilly. Camano at 4 degrees today. Sandspit over on Haida Gwaii still at 9, topping out on the island at 9 there. Over on the Alberta side, though, Fort John at 20, Dawson Creek 22, Grand Prairie 24. Exceedingly nice. You should get a little bit of precip, I think, coming towards you in the next day or two. But what are we looking at when we get to Wednesday? On Wednesday, things will start to cool off we're looking already the McBride at 16, Williams Lake 16 at 3 in the afternoon. Kamloops still pretty warm, Kelowna over on that Alberta side into the mid-20s right through to Saskatchewan. Looking pretty nice for you. So that's unfortunate for us here. Not great. Could be into close. Could see crossover in some places. Fairly windy as well, and some, especially out in the prairie. Strong wind gusts in the prairies today, up to 53 for gusts. That's not steadies. These aren't steady winds. These are wind gusts, but still. And then even the Caribou, too. I'm a little bit concerned for our Alexis Creek fire today, although it's kind of in a pocket at that time of day where it's okay. No, it's gonna be a bit windy in the Caribou today. Yeah, okay. Right up here to Wells, even might see our winds peak up into 40s. So here's what to look for today for some fire behavior. Not quite a red flag warning for you, but a good one. And solid winds still out there in the prairies, like I said. So, but all this will not last very long, right? It won't last very long. I mean, maybe we'll see those winds go a little bit into the southern BC on Wednesday, but look at the winds we're looking at in the prairie here. We got some, and we know there's some fires up here, so this is really concerning. We could see some pretty wild, extreme wildfire behavior in the prairies over the next few days. So the other half of the equation is the fact that we have precip moving along the coast there coming in today. That's why we saw temperatures that were so low in some of those places while it's still so warm in southern BC. So you'll watch that precip mostly through the coast in northern BC, but as we get overnight to Tuesday, it'll start moving into the Caribou and whatnot. I'm hoping some of that could make it over the Rocky Mountains, but this modeling doesn't show it, so that's unfortunate. Other modeling showing a little bit of precip coming into the piece. The Canadian model not showing that. However, this is nice for the Caribou at least. We can got a little bit of snow in the high country On the backside, cool temperatures, a little bit of rain for Prince George into Wednesday morning. Okay, good stuff. Let me switch over to ECMWF. We see a little bit of lightning possible down through, maybe Horsefly, maybe Quesnel Lakes area, maybe those areas of the Caribou Mountains, right? A little bit of precip in the mountains now between Valemount and Quesnel Lake. Look at this. On to Thursday, early morning, we got all kinds of gross weather. So here's some precip that's going to help counteract any fire behavior that we see make a stand up today, okay? And we're going to watch some of this snow in the Rocky Mountain high country, a little bit of rain out there, not exceeding amounts, but it seems fairly widespread. But again, some of the areas that we're concerned about, southern BC, not getting much of that. Peace, not getting a whole lot of that. Chilcotin really needs rain and really needs precip. Not getting a lot of that either. And then by Friday, Kelowna maybe be into the high 20 and whatnot. Not seeing terrible temperatures as we come into the weekend, but they're not really great temperatures either. It's not exceedingly warm. It's, get up to mid-teens on Saturday. Sure, that's great. But look what we're seeing over on the Prairie side, Regina, maybe getting up to 30 degrees. Oh, isn't that nice for you on Saturday? Wouldn't you like 30 degrees? Oh, you lucky bastards. 31 on Sunday for them. Unbelievably hot. Yorkton, 31. Brandon. Winnipeg up to 34. What the fuck? Dryden, Ontario, 27. That's a crazy massive air. Oh, boy. Yeah, and we're not seeing a lot of that. So, all in all, fairly down weather across the board for us with a few days here and there where it kind of stands up and says, hello. So keep your eye out for smokes today because it's the kind of day we might see a few of them do something or other. Okay, that's the show for this morning. I'm going to drink my coffee now and enjoy the start of my day, friends. Okay, we'll see you around. Till next time. Bye.